Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, December 8th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the stocks, just want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering. So if you're enjoying what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used to build consistency, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, then there's a link right down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then somewhere right there on the page itself, there's going to be an area for you to click on to get signed up. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, if you're liking what you see, then definitely get signed up for the free class. And then a couple quick clarification points. First off, I will be doing the 30-minute time frame. So if you're new, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. And then next, the market is still open for a little bit of time. So this candlestick here that you're going to see, it will still be moving around for each stock, just because, like I said, the markets are still open. But the day is close enough to being over where the levels I talk about, I'm very confident will still be very relevant as we head into Wednesday. But you're not going crazy. That candle is still moving, but that is why. So the first stock here, ticker symbol ENSC, and crazy move here. You can see the first part of the day, nothing at all was going on, no volume, and then the volume came pouring in, and of course the price behaved very nicely with it, and there's going to be plenty of eyeballs watching this one here on Wednesday, so just want to map out a couple of the key levels. First level here from more of the support standpoint, and for people that maybe like to play pullbacks, but right there around $2.45, very interesting level, just based on the fact that, you know, the price surged, and then when the surge finally ended and came back down, that general area right there is where the buyer stepped in before another nice move to the upside. So keep an eye on that from a pullback standpoint. And then if you like to play more so breakouts, key level to watch from the breakout standpoint, going to be right up here, give or take around $3.40. So keep a close eye on that. And 340 will be the level that a whole lot of people are watching. So if the price can break up through there, that could just bring in that much more organic momentum, because people that are breakout players are going to say, hey, that's a breakout. It's breaking out. I'm a breakout player. I want to buy. So 340 definitely going to be a very interesting level. But all in all, huge volume, nice price movement. So if you like this price range stock, definitely should be on the watch list. Next one, SNDL, and big accomplishment here today, and this will mean a little bit more to those that have watched past videos on mine. But a while ago, I did a video saying, yeah, the price has bounced before, but you don't want to get too excited about a bounce until it can do a certain dynamic, and that dynamic has to do with that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. And up until today, the price has not been able to actually get above that level and stay up above it, but that finally happened today after, like I said, literally weeks upon weeks. If I squeeze this down more, you can see that ever since the price fell down below that purple line there, and like I said, this was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, there's been bounces, but every bounce has been rejected by the purple line, and that was still a potential threat going into today, because the price, yeah, it did bounce on Monday, but you can see it was getting stuck. Well, you guessed it, right up there at that purple line. But today the price has now gotten above it. Now, does that guarantee that this thing is going to continue to reverse around? Of course not. There are no guarantees. But now does it become plausible to think that, okay, maybe the bulls finally are getting a grip on things and starting to turn things around? Yeah, that is a more than plausible thought to have. So keep an eye on that dynamic here, that this could very well be the start of a much bigger move to the upside. But the key level to now stay up above moving forward is going to be that purple line, the 50-period moving average, like I said, valued at 58 cents. And that's important, because if the price were to come down here and drop back below it, well, now what do you have? Well, now you have the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but that's not exactly a sign of a true, genuine, strong move if the price all of a sudden goes back to where it was. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that is why in my mind that 58 cents is very important moving forward. But all in all, big dynamic happened today. Got to move the moving average. Is this the start of something much bigger? Let's see what happens. Next one here, AMC, and we have a very interesting dynamic here moving on. And again, this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watch the past videos, but if you haven't, I'm going to quickly touch on it right now. But I've talked about that red line several times before at $31 being an important area of resistance. And wouldn't you know it, look right where the price basically struggled all day long, right around $31. Now, the good news here is that it's not like it got up to that area and then just got rejected back down. Case in point right there, rejected back down, rejected back down. Here it's still getting rejected, but it's also starting to break above it. So yeah, the momentum has stopped, and it's kind of like, if you were to picture this as kind of like a pile of mud. So yeah, the price is kind of slogging around here in this pile of mud, but that's much better than having just getting flat out smacked back down, smacked back down. So there was no smacking to the downside here. It's just the price is struggling. Like I said, it's like the momentum has gotten stuck in some mud, but it does make sense now at the location of where this momentum is slowing down, because it is a key level of resistance. So the big question mark moving forward on AMC is, can the price get up through that level and stay up above the level and then slowly start to separate up through it. So it doesn't have to be anything explosive, but the key dynamic here is let's just see if the price can actually stay above that level, because that's where it's been struggling. It's broken above it several times, but never been able to quite stay above it. So that'll be the first dynamic there. But all in all, taking a step back and looking at things from the bigger picture, I mean, a very, very impressive bounce is still underway. I mean, you stop and think about the fact that just a couple days ago, it was at 25, and now the thing's all the way back up to, doing battle at 31. Very nice bounce, and now it's just a question of if this bounce is going to continue, then all eyes on 31. Next one here, LCID, and did this analysis in the previous video. So, and there's a couple of big distinctions here I need to be made. From the big picture perspective, everything is still perfectly fine. The chart has done nothing wrong at all. It's still doing a good job of staying above that green line, which is important because that's representing progress, as I talked about in the previous video. However, there is the perspective, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and if you bought right there this morning or bought the dip right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well, then from that perspective, yeah, things are looking pretty rough because there was a pullback from that area. So it all depends on what was your game plan, what was your strategy going in. Again, from the grand scheme of it all, everything is still perfectly fine. Still have plenty of opportunity to build a higher stair step by staying above that green line. But I mean, like I said, if you're a day trader, you bought right there, then yeah, this chart's actually looking pretty rough for you. So depending on your perspective is going to dictate how you feel about this chart right now. But overall, like I said, and I'm making this comment now, assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, everything is still perfectly fine. Sure, it's annoying that the price pulled back, but that doesn't mean that the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. So still got an opportunity to continue to bounce and show signs of progress. So we'll see how the next couple of days play out. Next one, SYTA, and this is just based on a very foundational premise here. If you like to play pullbacks, then there could be a couple interesting dynamics here playing out. First level is if you're thinking, maybe there's going to be some sort of double bottom right off this $4.50 mark. So that's a potential, buy the pullback and play some sort of bounce to the upside. Maybe you're saying, nah, I'd like to see a little bit more carnage. I'd like to see a little bit more blood, a little bit more panic. Then the next very logical level to keep an eye on would be down here at that pink line there, which on my chart denotes the 200 period moving average, but you do have the 50 period moving average sloping upwards, and both these levels are essentially at the same value. So let's just call it right around, we'll split the difference there, $3.65. So 450, 365, a couple of potential areas if you like to play kind of charts that are looking pretty ugly, but there's still a chance where maybe the ugly is just being over dramatic and it's not actually an ugly chart because everything's going to turn around. Because to be fair, from the big picture point of view, even if the price came down there, found support there, well, you'd still have lows right there. And going back to stair steps, I mean, you'd have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So yes, the chart does look pretty shaky right now. It is looking pretty ugly, but sometimes there can be opportunity in ugly. So if you like those sorts of setups, then this one here fits, I'd say fits that description pretty closely. Next one, ticker symbol AAPL, Apple, and things are right back to, where they were. So things were, very clearly making big moves, and then you had kind of the pullback here, but the chart has just continued to gap its way back upwards, which is kind of a bizarre looking chart to see these gaps reclaiming the trend here that had been going on. But that's the main dynamic, because going into today, there was this resistance trend line that existed, and it was a very valid question. All right, yeah, but is this trend line here going to start to push the price back down? And we got our answer. Nope, that didn't not only not push it down, but the price broke up through that trend line and then also broke up through those highs. So from a support standpoint, if you like to try to play pullbacks, 169.35 would be a nearer term level. But if you just like to play more things from an overarching standpoint, keep an eye on that purple line right there. Classic example. I mean, check it out how the price found some support right at that level. So now moving forward, as that moving average itself moves higher and higher, as long as the price stays above there, that's going to be, represent the fact that, there's really nothing wrong with the chart itself, because no price can go straight up. But even if the price pulls back here or there, as long as those pullbacks are occurring above the purple line, then like I said, in my opinion, that doesn't mean, the price has done nothing wrong. And then as far as areas of resistance, just very straightforward. Party stop today right up there around, let's call it 171.50. So keep an eye on that. But overall, Apple is back, and I like to keep Apple, on watch list, because if you've heard of Apple, if you have experience with Apple, it's one of these that can get into trends and then just trend and trend and trend. And it had been doing that until the big COVID scare of the new variant out there. But now that seems to be kind of weaning. The price is returning back upwards, so we'll see if it can get back into that kind of grinding trend that it had been in beforehand. Next one, JMIA, and this is almost a blast from the past. I remember when this thing was really, really popular, was always making big moves. So I do remember that there is that ability to move quickly, and now that you have the big surge in volume here, big, nice price movement, does that mean that for sure guaranteed it's going to keep on making big movements? Of course not, but again, it's got a track record of doing it before, so if it is starting to kind of warm back up again, definitely at least get it on the watch list here. There's a couple of well-defined areas. So moving forward, have this trend line right there, and then also have the support area right down around the $13 mark. And then from a pattern perspective, let's just make this all the same color. So we have the resistance there, we have the support here, we have the momentum move right there, and let's put the golf hole down there to make it more visual. This would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So bull pennant on this one headed into, and the week is still young. It's only Tuesday. So still 3 days left on the week itself. And now it's just a question of, is this going to go through a healthy consolidation and move to the upside? That's plausible to think that it very well could. I wish it was easy to say, hey, a bullish pattern has formed, therefore the price is for sure going up. Doesn't quite work like that. That would be nice. But again, it's valid to think that, all right, yeah, I think this thing could go through a healthy consolidation and get the breakout. So if you do like to play these sorts of patterns, then this one definitely belongs on the watch list. Next one here, BBIG, and I put this one right next to JMIA because same exact concept. This one kind of a blast from the past. It's made some very nice movements in the past. Now it's starting to warm back up again, maybe. So big volume, nice price movement. So I'm not going to sit here and go through all that again as I just talked about it. But so you understand the general idea of things. Now I'd say the pattern here is maybe a little different looking because the main area of resistance has, quite a bit of a track record, actually, give or take right around $3.17. I mean, you go back there, problem, generally speaking, problem, and then once again, generally speaking, problem, because the price did actually break above it, but that was very temporary before the price snapped back below it. So 317 can be that main area of resistance, and then not that far away, so you're going to have to, want to keep an eye on this too, but even if the price does break through 317, you're going to want to, keep a close eye on that downsloping pink line there, which is the 200 period moving average. As far as levels of support are concerned, a couple of choices here. First level being that bottom part of the little channel right there at 287, but you also have that purple line down there, the 50 period moving average. But same, like I said, general premise. This thing has a track record. It can move big. It's done it in the past. So is it starting to warm back up again? Let's see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol SHIP. And I was going to, kind of unfortunately, because it changes the angle on this one here a little bit. But I mean, I don't say any of that. I don't say unfortunately in a bad way. But what I was thinking and hoping is, okay, I'm going to talk about this very well-defined pattern here. You have this very well-defined resistance. You have the support right there. But you can see the last 30 minutes, the price is actually broken up through the top part of that pattern. So that's the context here is you had the pattern, but the price, that final 30 minutes broke through it, which again is not bad. It just changes the dynamic here. And now the new dynamic becomes, okay, the question of, is this the start of something bigger? Which is a good question to ask, right? Because if you stop and think about it, you can ask the question, is this the start of something bigger if nothing happens in the first place? So it's actually already accomplished a very important step. Something has happened. What is that something? Well, it's broken up through that trend line there. So it would be, in technical jargon, the start of potentially a pattern breakout there. So that's really the big dynamic moving forward is, yeah, it had consolidated. Yeah, if you're a breakout player, then technically speaking, okay, you missed the breakout right there. But like I said, the breakout, if this is the start of something much bigger, is still relatively young, literally just getting started. So like I said, if that is just the start, then yeah, there could be a whole lot of upside there. But that's definitely that dynamic here. And again, circles back to SHIP, depending on how long you've traded. Then this one should be in your memory somewhere because this one has gone on some big movements too in the past. So we'll see if this is indeed, like I said, the start of something bigger or maybe just, some sort of faulty breakout. But it's definitely worth one keeping an eye on. Next one, TSLA Tesla. Been following this one very closely. I mean, it's sort of a popular stock. But the big dynamic here that occurred today was the price broke up above this area of resistance right here, which I talked about in the previous video. So the first update here, just based on a foundational and charting, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So going into the day, right there around the 1028-ish mark, give or take, was that area of resistance. And I mean, you can see the power of charts. Check that out. Price broke above it, pulled back first 30 minutes, bounced off it. Came back down, bounced off that level. So just a classic example there of a resistance turning into support. So moving forward, that'll be the key area that you want to watch, just because from more of a bigger picture point of view, and I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price comes down to that level and then just breaks down through it, when all of a sudden you start to have this situation of, okay, well, now the price is going right back to where it was, which again, that's not really a sign of anything truly strong, right? Where price movements are going back to where they were. But as right now, that's not happening. In fact, the last 30 minutes, nice little green candle there. So keep an eye on that 1028-ish mark. As far as next potential areas of resistance, next big one definitely going to be that pink line again, 200 period moving average. You can see the price struggled with it back here. Current value of that is right up there around 1091. So keep an eye on that. But all in all, the bounce continues. Had the nice bounce that started on Monday. Got some more follow through today. The price is building those higher bases. That's what matters most. So let's see if Tesla can indeed keep on bouncing. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and if you can start to see the potential, want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. It'll be this Thursday, December 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to run these scans, put together these top 10 lists, then please communicate that to me by doing 2 easy things. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment. Tell me a ticker symbol that you're watching for tomorrow. Say hi. Give me a emoji, smiley face. But those 2 things, like button, and then a simple comment, communicate to me that you enjoy the videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, then I have no problem at all continuing to make them. So again, if you want to learn more about this tool, definitely get signed up for the free class. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment below. Thanks for hanging out.